back, my friends. It's time once again for Cover Decoder, the All Hallows Eve-a-thon. That's right, folks. That's right. It's time to get spooky. This is the show where we grip the knife of curiosity, brutally stab the pumpkin of coverdom, rip out its slimy innards, carve out the sinister face of discovery, and finally, light the candle of truth for all to see its glow.
Good, clean family fun right there.
That's right. In the basement of La Masse Decoder is the mad penman Dr. Von Inks, and in the spectral suite is the phantom keyboard, Le Haunt Brengineer. And I am the filth-covered crypt dweller known as Tapes. Welcome to Horror Park.
Welcome. We spare no expense.
No expense.
Ooh, very, very scary, very spooky.
Oh, it is episode 2, folks, of season 2. And we are so excited. We're so excited. I went for a walk today. I had my buds in preparing for this episode. And you know what was happening under my feet? There was this sound.
This skittering,
crunching, crackly, beautiful sound. And the light is starting to cast long shadows. It's time, folks. Fall is here. It is the best time of year. Yes.
You know, I wore comfies all day today. I've got my worn out sweats on. I got a long sleeve shirt. I wore socks all day.
All day.
It was magnificent.
You walked with a continuous shuffle. There was no picking up of those feet.
Yeah, before this episode, Brengineer ground up some brown leaves and did a rail off of his Haunted Stories book.
He did Marty Robbins proud.
He did, yeah. He likes to get autumn in his nose.
I was having a COVID lunch the other day. That means you eat outside and stare at the gravel and asphalt that is normally a parking lot. And I turn to my left and I look over and I see Tapes, and he's got his coffee mug there, and he's normally a high energy guy, but this time he was just staring off into the distance like Ernest Hemingway, and the leaves were blowing back and just clattering across the ground, and he looks over and he goes, "This is my shit."
Yes, folks, if you didn't know, we are autumn boys. We're autumn boys. Inks is a bit of a summer boy.
I'm actually an autumn boy because growing up in Texas.
Have you turned? Were you bitten?
No, I mean, growing up in Texas, fall was the only time you could actually go outside without losing half of your weight in water.
Oh, so that's right.
Autumn was awesome because it was actually 80, 90 degrees, and you could actually go outside and play and roughhouse and stuff like that. It was fantastic.
Fantastic. And that's my favorite thing during the fall season. There's a couple things I love doing. One is putting my music in and going for crispy fall walks through the leaves. The other thing I like doing is hanging around with me mates and watching some horror movies, folks. Yeah. But we love all things autumnal and horror and just crypty. And so these next 3 episodes, like we promised, we're going to have an episode every week for you. And these episodes, we're doing our top 3 Halloween essentials. But the last one is going to be on our Patreon, folks. So if you want to hear what our last essential is, you'll have to sign up for Patreon. So you just got to live with that.
You got to get that gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yep, become a cover cultist. Yeah. Join us on our quest for coverdom. Support the show. You can get that episode. And additionally, there's a Steak Bites up there right now for you if you want it. Just a bunch of fun clips of our season 1. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. I'm going first, and I'm going to give you my top 2 autumn essentials.
Number 1.
That's right. So
you're going to get to know us a little bit better on these little mini journeys.
Anyway, folks, we're going to dive in here. Boys, go ahead and open up the first slide here, because when I put those earbuds in, I listen to certain groups. And there's nothing more Halloween than King Diamond, folks. There's nothing more autumnal than some King Diamond. So
yes, instantly recognizable voice, instantly recognizable persona.
Absolutely, one of the founders of metal, of black metal. So he's a very influential figure. And the album we're going to be talking about today is The Fatal Portrait. So, boys, go ahead and tell me what you're looking at. Tell me the cover of Fatal Portrait.
All right. Well, I'll go because I'm very familiar with King Diamond. I'm a fan of King Diamond's music. I'm going to say this first and foremost. So, this is the first King Diamond solo record, right? Now he's got this amazing logo, right? It's a very specific font. It's got a bat. It's got the Jonah, which is, I believe, the alchemical symbol for sulfur, or the symbol for Satan, I believe, is how it's been described to me. But I've never seen it like this, where the king portion of the font is yellow with drop red shadow. The diamond portion is orange with a drop cyan.
We're going to talk about that.
The symbol's pink. The symbol is pink.
It's beautiful.
It looks like
it's something.
It looks like a Super Nintendo video game. You know what I mean? Like
it does.
Like this is a
Absolutely.
Castlevania knockoff. Castlevania spinoff.
This is you're going through the mansion.
King Diamond's castle. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Now, the image itself is extremely well done.
Yes.
I can't tell if this is like a witch or a nun. I think it's a witch. That's a very witchy kind of robe.
She don't look like a witch.
It's a witch. It's a witch. It's a hot witch. I'm going to say it's probably oil, definitely some airbrushed fire, but it's pretty well done. It's almost photorealistic fire. And she's got these weird spiky things coming out of her robe.
These
which
great kind of knife horn kind of things.
Yeah, I could never figure out what those were.
Think Thor's sister.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, very Hela-ish.
So, and the witch nun is sort of staring past you, like over your left shoulder.
Almost as if she were a portrait?
Yeah, maybe she's just spied Satan's penis and is sort of deciding.
She's melting that penis with her stare. Is what she's doing. She looks to me like Raquel Welch or something. Like one of those like
70s.
timeless, like old classic, almost too good to be true. With her stare.
This is
She's kind of smudged around the lips. She's looks like she has like a cold sore or like mouth herpes or something.
I was saying,
or she
those
got
are
really
Raquel
bad
Welch
Botox
lips.
injections and just can't like open her mouth right now.
She looks to me like a very satanic Raquel Welch. It's very nice portrait.
Yeah, she wants to sacrifice your baby, but you also kind of want to bang her and make another one, so it's okay. So, as Brendan was saying, it's a very effective cover. It's right in the center, logo up top. Down at the bottom is the title of the album, Fatal Portrait. The fire, the framing, it's extremely well done. What I love about it, and here's what's really cool, folks. So before King Diamond was Merciful Fate, which is awesome. The difference between Merciful Fate and King Diamond is Diamond started going towards doing concept albums. So this was the first concept album. Now, it's not a full concept album. Actually, only 5 songs connect to the concept, and then there's another 3 songs that are kind of offshoots. Another reason that I picked this one is because one of those tracks is titled Halloween. Can't go wrong.
Boom.
It's Halloween. It's
Boom.
Halloween. Yeah, you gotta have
Hit
a
the
song
mark.
called Halloween if you're King Diamond. And he kicked it off with a song about Halloween. Come on. King Diamond knows what he's doing, okay? So, on top of the fact that the actual painting here is extremely well done, it's effective, it's a complete package because it also encompasses the story, which I will get to in just a minute. Brengineer, I think he might be right. So I wasn't able to find out what this one was done with. I did find out that the album Them, which is another King Diamond album, was painted with acrylics on polyester canvas.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Yes. And
Polyester canvas.
I found a really cool article, you guys. I went ahead and linked that into the slides. Kind of about, because I was really curious how to tell the difference between oils and acrylics. And one of the things they were saying is that oils will leave a softer edge, where acrylics will leave sort of a harder edge. And then there's other things if you're actually looking at the physical piece. But to me, this kind of looks like oils because it looks softer. It could be mixed medium too.
Yeah. Or you can just tell by the blending in the face. I mean, the lighting on this piece is fantastic. It's like, I guarantee you the artist was probably painting off a model or a picture or something.
This is some Jeff Easley
the lighting on this is unbelievable. Particularly on, like, it's a weird detail, but the fabric, it's done subtly here, but it's done in such a photorealistic way.
Right.
Just the blending and everything, like, it just, I don't know, it looks oily to me.
Yeah, I think it does too. Inks, what do you say? Would you rein in on oils?
It could be acrylics. You said polyester, which is it's not like cotton that soaks up stuff. It's not as rough as cotton. It might be a little bit slicker. I don't know. It could be huge too. If you guys zoom in, you'll see that you can see a little bit of her hair peeking out from her hood. On our left, it's actually brown hair, and you can see the hair. And then you zoom into her eyes; she's almost got tears welling up at the bottom of her eyes, and you can actually see that little pink connective tissue.
Yeah.
Oh man!
In her eyes, right there. I mean, I've got to believe that this thing is a big old picture, a big old painting, a big old painting. Because one of the tricks you could do to get a lot of detail in your painting is to just make it huge. It takes longer, but you don't need to, have a microscope goggles to actually
one
do
of those
the fine
hair
stuff.
brushes that I never understand how people use.
Yeah, exactly.
This was definitely on canvas. I mean, there's zero sign.
Yeah, there's no
grain
grain for sure,
or any canvas texture at all. So
maybe
board.
So polyester is polyester is that a board too? Is that a flat? Is that a flat board?
No, polyester is going to be a.
It's plastic, basically.
It's like a material. Oh, you know what?
So this could have been that medium.
This is no. If you zoom in on the fabric to the left, you can see the canvas texture.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
Wow.
Inspector Brengineer.
He's getting in there real. He's getting in on the hairs. He's seeing everything.
That's right.
Okay,
enhance.
Great. So
enhance.
There are.
Yeah, and you can tell that this is a big ass painting.
We have found the potholes. Yeah, so it's probably a beast. So let's talk a little bit about the story behind this so we can cement this whole thing. The concept album, because it's so important with these King Diamond, it's really what separated him from the rest of the pack, is because he's like, you know what? I want to do something else. So Fatal Portrait, like I said, it's 5 songs that connect, 3 that are separate. The album is about a mother who is possessed with evil jealousy. I don't know what that means. That's the only lyric we get. But she's evil jealous of her daughter, Molly. Yeah, so she's jealous of her daughter, and she locks her up in the attic until Molly dies. I mean...
Damn.
Now, if you know anything about King Diamond, you know he's kind of obsessed with attics.
He loves attics. He probably lived in one.
There's lots to do with attics. He probably did.
I mean, honestly, though...
I'm an addict
What parent doesn't lock their kid in the attic once in a while? You know?
Once in a while,
you gotta just...
basement
you gotta take a break.
This is not...
You never... Okay, well, I guess we're on our own here. Anyway, so...
That's how you get sloth.
That's right.
Or was that a basement?
You guys, I'm still in the attic. Mom paints Molly in a portrait so she can become immortal. She can immortalize her. But Molly's soul is trapped in the candle of truth. The narrator, which is King Diamond. King Diamond is in his albums, by the way, which is great.
Which, folks, if you listen to King Diamond, it sounds like 2 people.
It is. Yeah. He does this high falsetto throughout large portions, and then his narrator voice is this kind of spooky old grandma with hip problems.
Yeah, and then his falsetto is grandma on the ground calling for help from her no good fucking kids. Yeah.
So Molly is in the candle. the narrator king speaks a rhyme and sets her free. She's able to torment her mom by basically making the portrait talk to her. Her mom burns the portrait, setting Molly free. Mom goes insane and dies, and then Molly walks around haunting the house.
Wow.
So that's the story of this album. It's a little more convoluted. When you read the lyrics, which I did recently, there's a couple different iterations of how the story goes, but that's the basic gist of it.
Hey, if your daughter steals your credit card, just know it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, and
she
just
could be
remember,
tormenting you from Candleland.
If you take the Brangineer and tapes route and you lock your kid in a small space, just don't let them die, because then they'll haunt you and make you go insane. That's the trick.
That's a little loophole there.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
a little loophole.
Everything in moderation. So other King Diamond themes include possession, ghosts, evil grandmas, and haunted fetuses.
Tell me more.
Indeed. And child endangerment.
Everything you want in a Halloween album, folks. So
it's almost like a modern day fairy tale.
Yeah, absolutely. A modern day gothic fairy tale. That's what he's going for. He has a brand, he lives by it, and his albums live that. His covers live that. Knowing what this is about, this is clearly the portrait burning. You know what I mean? So
this is Molly. This isn't Molly's mom.
It could be. This could be a reflection of Molly's mother, Jane, or it could be Molly. We're not sure, but either way, it works. So it's cool, too, that it leaves that subjectively in your brain. You know what I mean? So let's talk about who's responsible.
Yeah,
I had a hell of a time finding these artists. Eventually, I think
that should not be the case. Okay, I get it if you are a painter and you're doing the slog for studios, doing posters, and they don't want your name on their posters. Right. I get that or whatever, but if you are an album artist and your job is to paint the covers of albums, your name should be in that inner jacket
Hide it somewhere. Yeah, you guys should check out...
honestly, I don't own the LPs or the CDs. I wish I did. Yeah. It might be in there, but I had to find it, so I kept looking for who made the album. I couldn't find it. Eventually, I found a Pinterest link, but because, like with LA Times, you have to have a Pinterest account, I couldn't actually log in. Ooh. So I just took that name, and I Googled it, and it popped up with this amazing site, which I've also linked in, folks, which gave me this cover here, and it gave me all the details about the vinyl, about the edition, and about the artists. So, the men responsible for this are Thomas Holm and Torbjorn Jorgensen, who is a Swede, and they are both art designers and illustrators. Torbjorn Jorgensen, I believe, also does the digital art graphics. But they started in the 1980s doing metal covers. And they started actually a studio called Dizyan. Studio Dizyan. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's Dizyan.
They just changed the letters around for Disney?
Yeah, that's right. Disney, or they were just, drunk and put some letters together. That sounds cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do album art and graphic design, and they pretty much did all the Golden Year covers for both Merciful Fate and King Diamond. These guys are legends. They did all of it. They did everything. Return of the Vampire. They did them. They did Abigail. I'm not gonna go into those covers yet. Like, we're talking about Fatal Portrait.
So they worked with King Diamond for a long time then.
They are golden boys in the King Diamond world.
They were Diamondettes.
Yeah, and additionally, they were a tag team. So they actually worked together. They're both credited on a lot of these albums.
How does that work?
I don't know, but it's the same. We talked about in season 1, we talked about Greg and whatever his name is, Hildebrandt, the two brothers.
The Hildebrandt
brothers, yeah.
And I don't know how they did it, but these guys, they're both illustrators, they're both designers, so maybe one would kind of come up with...
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if somebody did the oils or the acrylics, and then one of the guys did the airbrushing.
Oh, yeah, that could very much be it.
You can see there's airbrushing going on in the back. So obviously, like, the first task was, hey, do a airbrush background. So someone did that, and then next thing, the guy paints the witch on there.
Yes.
And then the guy then has to go over the beautifully painted nun with more airbrush
Back to
and
you.
not jack it up somehow.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
And folks, this is a momentous occasion.
That's my guess.
Because Brengineer has not said shit about the airbrush in this, if that's what it is. He says it looks good.
Dude,
you know what?
A palatable airbrush.
This actually looks okay.
Spirits
this
are
time.
out. The spirits are out.
I'll even say this. This actually looks good.
We're grouchy old men about a lot of things. We understand that. We know ourselves. But look, we also just don't like laziness with any tool. A tool is a tool, and if you use it well, if you use photography well, graphic design well, yes, airbrushing, you can use that well. But if it's lazy, then our eyebrows go down and our lips start to quiver and we go, it's a damn shame.
A ghost to hunt you from cover down.
You hate to see it.
Airbrush is like CGI in a movie.
True.
Okay, it's
play.
great
Fair
if you
play.
have a sweet puppet, and you throw a little CGI on there just to make it, but then when you just do everything airbrush, it just looks.
It's the sauce, not the main course.
Yeah, it's the sauce, not the main course.
That's right.
Thank you.
So we're going to be coming back to these covers because everything from Merciful Fate and the early years of King Diamond are amazing. They are amazing. Inks can attest to the amazing cover for Abigail. These two guys, Thomas Holm and Torbjorn Jorgensen, they have done amazing work. So
Good job.
Hey, that's not how you say his name. Say it again. Properly this time. Thank you.
Torbjorn. So we throw these
God,
guys
he's speaking in tongues.
We throw these guys a covered bone. Their art is amazing. We'll be coming back for them for more King Diamond covers because King Diamond, folks, has some bombs. During the later part of the century, his covers got
bombs in a good way. In a good way.
The KD
they
bombs.
Got CGI. They got real bad.
Oh no!
And my last thing about this, Brengineer brought something up that was pretty cool. On that site, I also discovered the reason that this looks so funky with the yellow and the orange and the weird teal.
The
Fruit Loop logo.
This is what the original pressing looked like. So if you have this on vinyl, you have a very rare copy of Fatal Portrait, folks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So take a
Grampy,
look
this
at the
is going home
slides.
with me.
That's right. So the newer editions, it's all just red. It's just red. So if you have this cover, take a look because it is rare.
Treasure.
That's right.
Treasure
So
alert.
thank you,
Treasure
King
alert.
Diamond. Thank you, Boyce, for giving us this awesome cover.
Yeah.
Now, before I move on to my second piece, we have a brief intermission, folks.
Oh.
That's right. We have a sponsor.
Oh no.
That's
Sponsor?
right. Yeah, isn't that exciting?
I don't know about this sponsor.
So, folks, very excited. We have a sponsor. We have someone who reached out to us to lend us a hand, and also they liked our show and they wanted us to feature them. And it makes sense because they are releasing a fall product. So I'm just going to read you the bit that they sent me. Harry Plumpkin and Giles Hardlow are proud to announce that once again their autumnal erotic workshop has set up at the Mango Farm Outlet Harvest Festival. This year, they are unveiling their latest schlick creation, the Flumpkin. The Flumpkin is the ultimate harvest erotic toy. With its convenient and easily disguised shape, the Flumpkin can even be set out for all to see. But in the bedroom, it can provide you and your partner the perfect opportunity to steam up those cold bedroom windows. Equipped with a locking pre-moistened mouth slot and a vibrating stem with interchangeable dong tips, the Flumpkin offers you both tricks and treats, guaranteed to make you moan and groan. When you flump the Flumpkin, your neighbors won't doubt your house is haunted. Thank you, Mango Outlet Harvest Festival. Harry Plumpkin and Giles Hardlow for giving us this sponsor. Actually, Boyce, it turns out that they gave us a little sneak peek at their product here. So
I really
do we get our own Flumpkins?
I really do.
So
that's a hell of a warning label.
It's pretty.
Damn.
It's pretty ergonomically designed. It's meant to be shared with two.
So what's in the mouth? Is that the
that's the
port?
That's the pre-moistened hole there.
Okay.
Is that?
It's got a bat catch for draining.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
So do they have like a similar like a grease trap truck that drives around and like, you know,
cleans
these things out for you? Or?
I went.
Your Flumpkins?
How did they come up with this concept?
You know what? They just create really unique autumnal designs. So I think you know the season hits everyone differently. Thank you to Mango Farms for hitting us with that awesome sponsorship. So we appreciate it.
Hard. Yeah.
And folks, get yourself a Flumpkin this fall.
That's a happy Flumpkin there.
That's a happy Flumpkin. That's right.
It's grinning widely.
It's ready. It's grinning for your pleasure.
It's grinning
for your pleasure.
They put the flump back in fall.
Moving on. And speaking of pumpkins here, folks, the next item on the docket, the next cover we have here, I had almost picked it immediately. In fact, it came up in season 1, and I picked it right away. But as I was thinking about it, coming into October now, it struck me a lot harder, and it started to get me thinking about things that resonate with me in fall. So, boys, for you, what is the symbol of fall? What would you, or I should say Halloween? What would you say the symbol of Halloween is?
I got the like the orange moon in my mind. The moon, full moon, clouds, crisp.
You got that colorblind
hard
moon there.
nipples. Yeah,
orange moons.
Orange moon. Harvest moon.
Clearly for me, it's a Flumpkin now.
Yeah. The new symbol of fall.
I'm gonna have to
definitely jack-o'-lantern. When I think fall, when I think Halloween, I think of the general overall climate. You know, the crispy leaves and the crisp weather and the long shadows and all that kind of stuff. But definitely, I think jack-o'-lantern sits in there pretty high up.
That's right.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. For me, as a child, it was jack-o'-lantern. You hear about, apples. You hear about corn stalks, leaves. But for me, and for many people, for hundreds of years, the image of these carved items of fruit and vegetables with lights inside them have been a symbol. And that's why even today in marketing, the pumpkin is a cover, or I should say the jack-o'-lantern is a cover. It's on everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I was drawn to this next cover. That and a mixture of folklore. And that's the other cool thing about the pumpkin with the jack-o'-lantern. Do you boys know the origin of the jack-o'-lantern?
I can't say that I do. I have a good idea, based off of what I do know about Halloween, but I would love to hear your illuminating notes on
Absolutely.
these.
So basically, when the Irish folks started immigrating here in the mid 1800s or so, they brought with them a lot of stories and a lot of tales and a lot of traditions. And one of those things was carving. Now, traditionally, it was a turnip. They would carve a turnip. But when they crossed over to the Americas, the pumpkin was a much easier and more accessible fruit to use. Now, there's a story from Ireland about a gentleman named Surly Jack. And Surly Jack had a bunch of misadventures where he basically tricked the devil. And there were a bunch of different ways he tricked the devil.
Surly Jack.
Surly Jack.
Tell the tale of
Surly Jack. One of the tales is that he tricked the devil into transforming into a coin and then pinned him next to a cross. The other is that he had the devil climb a tree and then carved crosses into the tree. Either way, Surly Jack made a deal with the devil to never claim his soul, and then he would let him go free, which he did. Eventually, Surly Jack died, and when he went to heaven, God basically didn't let him into heaven because he said, I don't want you here. You're causing too much mischief. I don't want you here behind the pearly gates causing trouble with me, okay? I got enough shit to deal with, Surly.
Yeah.
So he sent Surly Jack. So Surly went...
Why does God sound like Trump?
I was thinking it's like Billy Crystal is God.
Here's the thing. You can't come into heaven.
Look here, you can't stay here. Hey, I got a lot of things going on. You cause too much trouble.
So he goes to hell, but the devil's like, sorry, I can't take you either because guess what? I can't claim your soul. So Surly Jack was cursed to wander the earth, basically. And as kind of the last laugh, the devil gave him a turnip and a piece of coal, and Surly Jack walked around with this glowing turnip lantern. Now, as time went on, Surly Jack became known as Jack of the Lantern. And as time went on further, they turned that into Jack-o'-lantern, Jack of the Lantern. So that is where this... Yeah, so it's this really cool bit of folklore that ties in with the jack-o'-lantern that we still use today, folks. And that's kind of what's really cool about this cover, because the covers themselves are great. The film is great. We're going to talk about that. But what's really cool is the path of tying folklore and this kind of childhood love of these things that I wasn't really allowed to experience as a young lad, but still stuck in my brain. Yeah, Halloween, like Bringineer, wasn't something I was allowed to have. So things like pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns and all those, autumnal themes really tied into my brain. So I think part of the reason, where I'm getting at with this whole diatribe, is part of the reason this cover sticks with me is because of the pumpkin theme. And to get into the cover, let me just give you a little bit of flavor, because it all starts from a poem by a man named Ed Justin. And I'm going to read it for you now. Keep away from Pumpkinhead, unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone, but in some dreadful fashion. Vengeance he considers fun and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he is brewing. It's when you think that he's forgotten, he'll conjure your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling in the yard, won't protect you in your bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead, folks. Which, of course, I'm talking about 1988's Pumpkinhead, directed by none other than Stan Winston.
Stone Cold classic right here.
Absolutely.
Stone Cold
folks.
Stan Winston.
Yes. So everything about this film, and this is a Pappy's Vidges right here, folks. I went into the video store, and I have two VHS covers. These are the two that I saw the most. One of them...
One is very, very good.
Yes.
And one of them not so much.
Yeah, this is almost a good cover, bad cover. So let's talk about the covers first.
Much.
The first one is a piece of shit. It's a bad cover. Inks, why don't you take this first cover?
Okay, you're going to have to help me out with the actor's name. But
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Henke.
Lance Henriksen. Oh, his name's right there on the front. Okay, so we've got lettering in red with white drop shadow. It almost hits the mark,
lettering.
but it's just a little too cheesy. It almost looks like carrots.
It's good.
You know what the problem is? It's outlined in white. Do you guys see? They didn't even take the time to cut out the white.
Yeah, well, no, that's the.
Well, it's
that's
like
supposed to be
yeah, it's like a drop. It's like a drop shadow to kind of make it
pop. The drop shadow
pop.
looks bad.
But it just looks like an advertisement for pumpkin carving tools to me.
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, totally.
And so we got Lance Henriksen. He's in the front. Full glistening General Tso chicken face.
It looks like they didn't take the flash off the camera.
Yeah, no. We got the sweat and everything. He's got his double barrel shotgun. And behind him, coming at him, even though he's not really looking at it, is the Pumpkinhead critter. It's got the long talons. And
but he looks like a mutated turkey. This doesn't even look like proper Pumpkinhead.
It's pretty good. It's good because the creature's good, but the composition's bad.
Neck.
Yeah, the composition's bad, but the creature is really well designed because it stands fucking Winston.
Real.
Yeah. And then on the back cover we got full on more creature. There's nothing to the imagination at this point. You know exactly what it looks like. You see its anatomy. You see its ribs. You see the vagina neck.
It's flopping out. It's all there. Yeah. You can see everything.
Congratulations. You don't have to watch the movie now. Good job, fuckers. Yeah, this is
a sad cover, folks. This is the 90s. Slap some photos on there. Pumpkinhead looks like he's just like handing Lance Hankerson back his wallet. Hey, drop this.
Drop this.
And then Lance is just like blast this poor mutated turkey that was being kind. It's a sad cover, and it's not a good reflection of the film. That being said,
it's not great.
As a child, I still wanted to watch it because there was a monster on the cover.
Monster. Scary.
Now, let's get to the box that I love. Everything that I want in a horror box.
Yep.
And Brengineer, why don't you go ahead and do this one?
So these are the VHS boxes. First of all, I love this image here. It's actually it looks like a scan of a folded, unfolded VHS box.
Get all the cummy glory. Get
all the cummy
creases.
Right here.
The creases are yellow.
It's got the creases. It's got the
we love
the sticker. The stickers from the video
store. It's got 1056, lot number.
Yeah. So first of all, the back is mysterious. This is what I loved about these old VHS things. They didn't tell you anything. You've got this creepy looking old woman on the back,
which is one of the best parts of the film.
She is the most effective image in the film. Keep going.
Yes.
Sorry.
So clearly a witch or some, you don't really know. Like if you didn't know anything about this movie, you're like I thought this was a monster movie. Like what's up with this weird old hag lady on the back?
Right.
And then you have some dude looking. That's Lance Henriksen.
That's possessed Lance Henriksen.
That's
when you get close.
But you don't know that.
Yep.
But you don't know that.
Some more fiber,
looks
Lance.
like he's trying to. He hasn't had enough oat bran.
Not enough wheeze.
And he's wishing he'd listened to his mother. When he was told as a child to eat his Wheaties. That's kind of where we're at. Now, you look over to the actual cover, and what we got is we get something you don't actually see that often, and that is a fully painted box cover.
Yes.
And there is no actor's face painted in here. There's no compositing. This is a straight up, I'm going to go acrylic painting here. I would say semi-professional. This looks... I
almost thought it looked airbrushed, to be honest, because it's so light and glowy.
It's comic book looking, you know? This doesn't look like... This looks like they hired someone out of like Dark Horse Comics to paint something up. That's kind of what this looks like. But it's got the creature, big old full moon, beautiful composition, a nice twisty branch, and then the orange Pumpkinhead font.
Then the Pumpkinhead font in this is beautiful. Incredible, and it lines the box, and the blue, the dark blue box background is beautiful. This is just perfect. This is a perfect VHS tape. This tells you everything you want. Yeah, it absolutely is. This is a great juxtaposition, folks. Please check them both out. Shitty cover, amazing cover. This is how you do it right. This is how you do it wrong.
Yeah.
And it gives you so much and so little. You know what you're watching, but you don't know how you're going to get there. Which, brings us to the film. So Pumpkinhead was a 1988 film. It was released in October 14th, and this is an autumnal movie. I'm talking oranges. I'm talking reds,
Bing.
Blues.
Bing.
It is dusty. It is musty. It takes place in the forest. It takes place at night. You've got an epic graveyard / pumpkin patch. There's a mound with rotting pumpkins where Lance Hankerson digs out this fetus pumpkin head. There's this that turns into a vengeance and then reaps Lance Hankerson's revenge basically on these damn kids who killed his child. While Lance Hankerson slowly turns into Pumpkinhead himself. And there's this amazing hag witch in there who gets into this hillbilly monologue with Lance, and you get to see Lance just banging his head going, "Damn you to hell! Damn you to hell!" And it's
so good.
Fantastic. He already has. With her wispy mustache.
Oh, she is perfect. She's
great.
The best depiction of a hag/witch. She was the scariest thing in the film for me.
I agree, and she's what freaked me out. So
in total, this movie was totally okay. So if you don't know Stan Winston's job is not a director usually. Stan Winston's job is as a creature creator.
Yeah, folks, do you remember the episode Summer Blockbuster Predator?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was our boy.
Do it.
So, honestly, I feel like this movie is a great movie.
Yes.
Not a perfect movie.
Yes.
A great movie. But it was clearly created because Stan Winston had this monster in mind and wanted to make a movie about it.
So do you boys want to know the history behind this film?
I would love to. Tell me. Illuminate us.
So I couldn't find any artists, obviously. VH covers.
Oh, no artists on these?
No. The cover, I tried so hard. Nothing. VHS covers are hard, folks. You're not going to find many artists unless they're big names. But what I did find is that Stan Winston and Pumpkinhead are actually a cover of themselves. And I have such an appreciation for this guy and this film based off what I learned. So let me just dig in here a little bit. So here's how the movie went down, right? Ed Justin wrote this poem. And the De Laurentiis company, they got a hold of it. Dino. And they had a script. And here's what they did. They sent the script to Stan Winston trying to fishhook him to say, hey, you like this script?
Monster?
You want to do a monster? You want to make a monster for us? Yes. And I have a quote here from Stan Winston. He said, "It was a small picture, something I thought I could handle as a director. And I felt there was a lot that I could bring to the story. So I told the producers, yeah, I'll do the creature, but only if I can direct the film." So Stan Winston they wanted him to make the creature, and he said, you know what? Yeah, I'll make a creature, but I got to make the movie too. What a badass.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
See, I love that. That's where you're confident enough where you can do the main event, which is the monster, right?
Yes, you can deliver.
And then you can deliver the monster for sure, but I don't know if at this point he had directed the film before.
Nope,
This was
his debut, guys.
Yeah, but
strong
his debut. Yeah, so he just strolled in with confidence, knew what he wanted to do, knew what he had, was probably like kind of shitting himself, probably being like, I don't know if I can direct a movie. What the hell? Let's just do it.
I read that they
actually. He wasn't. It goes further. So. He approached the film. This is how this Stan Winston's approach is. You can tell he's an artist. You can tell he's a cover artist in spirit. So he had 4 lead artists that tackled the creation of Pumpkinhead. The movie is about Pumpkinhead, folks. There's some other stuff, but really it's about the creature. That's what creature features are. There's some okay acting, but really you want to see the creature. That's what the cover is. It's the creature. So
this is kind of like in the same realm as Creature from the Black Lagoon. Think that
correct.
kind of a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stan took his 4 leads, and this is a quote from one of them. "Since Stan was directing the movie," said Gillis, he's one of the creators, "he turned the creature work over to us. Stan said, I'm the director on this. I'm the client. You guys are the effects guys. It was great to have Stan's encouragement to just go with it on our own. We sat down and started drawing. Then we presented those drawings to Stan. He made suggestions. That's how the character of Pumpkinhead developed. Then I sculpted the head, and Tom and John sculpted the body." So right there, what have we talked about? There's no camel humping. Stan knew his guys. He knew what he had, and he said, you know what? Take my cover. Make it. Make me something cool. I'm the director. I'm not.
Love it.
I'm not doing the art.
This is your Flumpkin.
This is your
Flumpkin. He gave up. he gave up his throne.
Yes.
He gave up his throne to do something totally different. There you go. There's confidence. I love that.
He trusted his mates. So going further down the rabbit hole, so this movie cost I believe it was just a little under. No, it was about $3 million, which is a very little budget, folks.
Yeah,
it's a very little budget, and part of that was that Winston provided additional bodysuits, corpses, and different parts of the effects from his studio. So what's cool is because he knew how the creatures worked and he knew his design, he was able to cut the cost down so much that he didn't have to spend much money on the actual creating of the suit. So there's a quote about that here. One of the guys said, "It's funny, but we never had a sense of being constrained by the budget on that show." Shane Mahan commented, "I screwed that up. Sorry, Shane." And that was because Stan knew what to spend the money on and how to get the most out of everything we built. So again, when you're doing
awesome.
covers,
Context.
yes, you strip it down. You take exactly what you need. You don't waste time. You don't waste materials.
Well, special effects are all the budget in these kind of movies. So if you are literally the special effects guy directing the film and you've got a warehouse full of props from other stuff, like
yes.
That's like the biggest money saver right there.
Well, and
it's a huge advantage.
Can you guys imagine how fun it would be? Because all these special effects guys were super involved in the project. One of them actually piloted Pumpkinhead. So this movie is basically a bunch of dudes and people hanging out, making this creature feature, and they all know each other.
Yeah.
You know? And this movie was all about the effects. So for a movie driven by effects and on such a low budget, it's actually pretty amazing how quality it is.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, and what really strikes me with this particular film is the lighting.
Yes.
There's one point where you see the creature, and this isn't a subtle film with the monster.
No, not at all.
When Pumpkinhead shows up, he there. He's in full view. He shows up. You see
there's
him.
Cicada sounds.
He's wandering around.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about that real quick. Is that what that is?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I grew up with cicadas and they're a little bit more rhythmic, but I don't know if that's like if that is
or
like sped up. But when I heard that, I was like, damn, where have I heard that before? And my wife goes, they used that sound for the alien on Independence Day. Remember when the alien flips out and it starts like breaking through stuff?
It's such a common monster trope to have those like cicada locust noises.
That's the locust sound. Yeah.
Yep. So going
that's
off,
awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Going off of Brengineer's point about the movie being fun, it is a fun film, and a big part of that was because of Stan Winston, and like we said, because they didn't have to worry about the budget. They had the money to spend on the filming, and no one had to stress. There's a quote here about the filming of the movie. It says, "Stan was a blast as a director," recalled Alec Gillis. "He was fun and completely relaxed on set, as if he didn't have a care in the world. I remember one day when we were in this cramped cabin set, and I was very tense and tired because Shane and I just spent 3 hours applying makeup to the actress playing the witch. But then I looked over and I saw Stan standing across the room staring at me with his glasses cocked at a weird angle on his head, just to make me laugh. There was my director making an idiot of himself for nobody's benefit but mine. That isn't something most directors would do." So clearly, what we have is a guy who always wanted to make a film. He got sent something where someone said, "We really want you to make a creature." He took an opportunity and said, "You know what? I'm going to make this." But he didn't really know what he was doing. He'd been around the set of a lot of movies. So instead of stressing out like a lot of people would do, he gave the right people the right jobs, and then he did his part. And the movie came out, and the movie is awesome, folks. It's definitely fun. It's a product of those October vibes, of those good times. And like I said, all the things we talk about with a good cover, freedom of creativity, going at it and having fun, knowing where to spend time and where to cut time. That's exactly what Stan did with Pumpkinhead. That's what the artist did with Pumpkinhead. And that's how we got this amazing feature and these amazing covers.
Yep. Great pick.
Thank you.
Great pick.
Yeah. And it was
both of them. Great picks.
Yeah, it was really fun kind of deep diving into Halloween for myself and the season and just finding out why these things matter and why they're fun, folks. So next time you're looking at your movies, your favorites, don't just put them on. Think about why you like them. Look at the covers. Think about why they're important.
Yeah.
So that's what I got for you tonight, folks.
Little self-cover care.
Enjoyed it.
Well, folks, I can say if you click on this cover and watch the film, the acting's maybe not the best, but the creature is full on tasty goodness. You're going to want to have Lance Hendrick's lithe hillbilly body. If that's what shucking corn gets you, sign me up. Sign me up.
I will bail many hays.
That's right. I
will hail many bays.
That's right. All right, so thank you.
I'll screw that up twice.
Yeah, you'll want to get your own flamethrower, and you're just going to start hucking bales. But we appreciate you coming on this journey with us into the mind of Tapes and exploring his Halloween musts. Our website is CoverDecoder. Yeah. .com. CoverDecoder.com, where you can find a link to our slides. That's a new thing we're doing now. If you haven't already heard, instead of having links to the photos, we're going to have links to our slides so you can follow along with us. If you have any questions or comments or covers, send them to coverdecoder@gmail.com. Also, you can check us out on Instagram at CoverDecoder. You can see our little teasers, some of the covers that I make for the show,
which our boy Inks does, and they're phenomenal.
Yes,
yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. And you might see us dance. You never know. So check us out on Instagram, and then please like us, review us, and follow us on whatever platform you're listening to. It's going to help us out a ton. We're going to be able to bring you more and more countdowns, more and more flavor, more and more flumpkins.
More.
And remember,
many more flumpkins.
On those dark Halloween nights when the breeze, cool and crisp, kisses the back of your neck, be careful what you cover.